Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." This simple yet profound verse teaches us about the essence of divine timing. It reminds us that in the grand scheme of life, every moment, every event, every challenge, and every joy has a purpose. And behind that purpose is the perfect hand of God, orchestrating events according to His infinite wisdom and grace. We live in a world that values immediacy. We are conditioned to expect instant gratification, fast results, quick solutions, and immediate answers. But God doesn't operate on our timetable. As we read in Jeremiah 29:11, His plans for us are to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. Yet these plans often require patience, endurance, and faith in seasons of waiting. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos like this, faithfully bringing you the content you love. The challenge of waiting. Waiting on God's timing can be one of the most challenging things we do as believers. In times of uncertainty, it's easy to feel discouraged or to question whether God has forgotten us. But the truth is, God never forgets. In these moments of waiting, He is working the most deeply in our hearts. His delays are not denials. Rather, they are divine appointments set for the right moment. Just as a farmer waits patiently for his crops to grow after planting seeds, trusting that they will sprout in their season, we too must trust that God is growing something beautiful in the soil of our lives. The Bible is full of stories of individuals who had to wait for God's timing. Abraham waited years for the promised son, Isaac. Joseph spent years in prison before becoming the ruler of Egypt. Even David, anointed as king, spent many years running from Saul before he finally ascended to the throne. In each of these stories, we see a common theme. God was working behind the scenes, preparing them for the blessings that awaited them. Purpose in the waiting. What's so remarkable about these stories is that the waiting period wasn't wasted time. It was during these times that God was shaping their character, strengthening their faith, and teaching them lessons they couldn't have learned otherwise. This reminds us that waiting on God's timing is not passive, it is active faith. We are not called to simply sit and wait, but to live fully in the present moment, trusting that God is aligning all things for our good. In your own life, you may be waiting on a breakthrough, a job, a relationship, or a promise that seems delayed. But remember, God is never late. His timing is perfect, and when He delivers, the blessings will be beyond your imagination. Isaiah 40:31 encourages us with this truth. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. When we trust in God's timing, He gives us the strength to endure, the faith to persevere, and the peace to rest in His promises. Why God's timing is always best. God's timing is always best because He sees the bigger picture. We see only a small portion of what's happening, but God sees the beginning, middle, and end of every situation. He knows exactly what we need when we need it, and how to bring it about. Sometimes, what we perceive as a delay is God protecting us from something harmful, or positioning us for something even greater than we imagined. Ephesians 3:20 tells us that God can do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. There is a reason for every season. Some seasons are for sowing, others for reaping. Some seasons are for growth, others for pruning. But in every season, God is working, whether we see it or not. Trusting His timing means believing that He knows what is best for us, even when we don't understand it. It's about releasing control and letting go of our need to have everything figured out. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. The rewards of trusting God's timing. When we trust God's timing, we experience the peace that surpasses all understanding. We stop striving and stressing, knowing that He is in control. Philippians 4:6-7 urges us not to be anxious about anything, but in every situation, to present our requests to God, and the peace of God will guard our hearts and minds. More than that, trusting God's timing builds our faith. Every time we wait on Him and see His faithfulness, our trust in Him grows. It becomes easier to surrender our plans, our timelines, and our desires to His perfect will. When we see His promises fulfilled, often in ways far greater than we ever anticipated, we realize that His plans for us truly are good. We begin to understand that His delays are filled with purpose, that His pauses are packed with potential, and that His plans are for our ultimate good. As you walk through the different seasons of your life, I encourage you to lean into God's timing. Know that He is working, even in the waiting. Know that His plans for you are far greater than anything you could plan for yourself. And as you trust in His perfect timing, you will experience the fulfillment and blessings that only come from walking in step with the Lord. So, whether you are in a season of waiting, sowing, or reaping, remember this: to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. God's timing is always perfect, and as you trust in His timing, you will see His plans unfold in ways that will leave you in awe of His goodness. Do not give up. Do not lose hope. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep walking in faith. The best is yet to come. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated and see more videos like this. Your support helps bring you the content you enjoy.